Say anything. Say anything. With Keena B. Why can't we just say anything? With Keena B. Welcome to a new year.
Hey, welcome to Say Anything with Keena B. I am Keena B. Thank you so much for joining me. And we are at Wimbius Market, located in Quincy, Florida. And today we have the illustrious Lacy L.J. McMullen Jr. And I'm going to just read about him for a second because you do need to get to know this gem of an individual.
Don't hype me up.
I'm gonna hype you up. He is a workforce strategist and organizational advisor whose insights come from real experience across education, finance, retail, hospitality, and public workforce systems. He helps people recognize when a workplace has crossed from difficult to unsafe, how to protect their reputation and income, and how to exit before the damage becomes permanent. And why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? It is important because today we are talking about unhealthy work environments, how to recognize them, what to do when you're stuck in one, and we're going to talk about the larger conversation going on all over the internet, which is Diddy. And I watched the documentary, and the one thing that really stuck out to me was the toxicity in the workplace. And instead of just being a voyeur and watching and not learning something from that experience, we are here to discuss and learn something so that you can do better wherever you are. Now, your situation may not rise to the same level as a Diddy issue, but any type of level of toxicity is something that you need to address. So, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm excited. Every time I come to Quincy or Gaston County, it always feels like home anyway, because I come from a little small hometown, so it's an honor to be with you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. This space always feels warm every time I come here. Just thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your coffee all the time. Did we just become best friends? Yeah, that's how you get me.
Damn, thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to come. Now, you already said that you didn't watch the documentary.
I did not.
But I'm going to give you a little brief breakdown. Everybody knows what happened with Diddy overall. Freak offs and all those different things. But specifically, there are two employees that he had that were in a documentary that is on Netflix that were really interesting to me. One was Christina Coram, also known as KK, and she worked for Combs for over a decade and was his chief of staff in 2020. And she referred to herself as his right hand. And during the documentary, she was retelling stories about how he was inappropriate, how he even at one point allegedly kidnapped her at gunpoint under threat, but that it wasn't a sudden thing, it was a consistent thing from the moment that she started working for him. Like even within the first day that she worked for him, she mentioned that he said to her, what did he say? Something to the effect that allegedly that if she messed up, he would get rid of her, like as in to undo her off this earth. And instead of running to the hills and being like, you know what?
I'm cool. I'm good.
She stayed.
Yeah. For over a decade.
And then the second employee, which ended up being actually not less of an employee and more of a co-founder, Kirk Burroughs. He co-founded Bad Boy with him in 1993, and he was the label's president.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Okay. So he relayed the information that he had been assayed by Combs and that under threat he had to sign away ownership, the 25% ownership
Right.
of the company over the cones. And so I just couldn't fathom the gradual increasing nature of toxicity that was over time. It doesn't seem like anything that they relayed was sudden.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you compare that to a work environment, normal 9 to 5, how does one recognize that they are in a toxic environment, and what should be their first response?
I think for me, realizing that I'm in a toxic work environment is how do I feel when I leave work, and how do I feel before I even get to work? Like, what's that feeling? Like, am I stressed? Am I really thinking about work a lot? Not to give deep examples, but if something is off, like I'm a big logical person, so things don't make sense, and I'm sitting and thinking about like how a person spoke to me, what was said, how are we going about things. To me, that's a toxic environment. If there's no accountability at work, if things are consistently rolling down to you and you're the odd man out, and you're doing your best to do your job, and no one's really sitting and trying to, I guess, find out like what's going on, how can I help you? It's just a point to blame. I feel like that's a toxic work environment. I think the best thing to do in most situations in any job, the first day you get there, keep a binder of everything, good, bad, because you never know how things may turn. Not saying that whatever environment you're in or going to be in will turn toxic, but I think it's best to document everything, and I mean everything. Just print it out. And what was your second part of your question?
I think you answered it. How to note that you're in one. How does one know that they're in a toxic work environment? And then the second part was, what should one do at the first sign of a toxic work environment? And you answered it. You said that, if I'm hearing you correctly, that if you get the feeling that it's not okay, then more than likely it's not okay.
Right.
And then that you should start documenting.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you should document no matter what. If you feel good or bad, just for your own personal records, what happened, good or bad, even your accomplishment, like document everything. Keep a binder and do it either weekly or daily, but keep that update.
Okay, so do you have any examples of what one could consider as a toxic behavior in a work environment? Now, Diddy's behavior, of course, was like shockingly over the top toxic. Like but it's not uncommon. Like, because I believe during the documentary, Mr. Burroughs mentioned how Diddy had a woman in his office and they were engaged in relations of a sort. But he buzzed Burroughs in to have him come in there and watch, right?
Yeah.
To see it.
And
he said he just wanted me to see that he could make this woman do this.
Power dynamic.
Power dynamic.
Yeah.
And I know that in past work environments that I have been in, there have been situations, not so uncommon, where people are engaged in relationships with other co-workers, typically a boss with a subordinate.
Yeah.
And they'll be in the office, or they'll be and everybody knows, right?
Clear, yeah.
It's very clear, but nobody's saying anything.
Right.
And it's like the question is, okay, why should we not be reporting these things? Like, I know that I initially asked, what are some examples? Start there. What are some examples? So that's a clear example, sexual relations in the workplace.
I think we touched on it a little bit, like the power dynamic of, oh, I can do this, and I can get away with it, with people knowing about it. Like, here you go, I'm in your face, I'm gonna do this, and there's nothing, I'm not gonna have any consequences about doing this to you. It's like, boom, I did it, what you gonna do about it? You know, I'm friends with HR outside of work, this, and this, you know, they've invested in me, they've invested so much in me, you're new here, hey, nothing's gonna get done, I've been here for years, you're new, like that type of dynamic. I think, to me, in my work dynamics, and not to call them all toxic or all toxic environments, but I think to me that was more common than anything, like that power dynamic of, oh, I can do this, I can talk to you this way, and nothing's really gonna get done about it. It may not have been as open, you know, like that, like, hey, I'm gonna do this. It's very subtle. I think that's the first part of realizing you're in a toxic environment, like the subtleties that have become normal. Or when you first get there, everything is peachy and, you know, but then you start realizing, like, this person is allowed to do this, and this, and talk to this person this way, and this, and this, but you can't say anything.
I call that boundary pushing.
Yeah.
And I have a note here. It's like, it seems as though in a lot of places they will test boundaries. Talk about the power dynamic. They will always test the boundaries of a person with small things to see if they push back.
Right. How far can they get?
Or if they let them continue, and then they'll continue being consistent with that thing and then add on to it.
Yeah, if I can speak on that a little bit, and I really hate to say this, but in almost every position I've been in, it's been that type of thing happened to me by someone in the organization, where they were pushing to see how far they could get. And I've always had to be very stern with this person, and no, this isn't gonna happen. Like, you can do so and so this way, and maybe they're fine with it, but not me. I come here to do a job, do it very well, and go home.
Exactly.
And I hate to be that way, you know, but I don't know, people push you.
I don't think you should hate to be that way.
Yeah.
No, because you mentioned power. Silence is a killer.
It is.
It really is. And when a person is unafraid to set their boundaries, people who are in power positions, and that's not necessarily like a boss or anything like that. It's just it could be a supervisor, it could be a co-worker who's just been there longer. Yeah. And they have those relationships.
Seniority or whatever, yeah.
Right, correct. And it's okay to set boundaries. I think it's healthy to set boundaries when you're first in a position, and that they shouldn't allow the fear of being without that job to resonate so much that it keeps them in unfair balance.
Right.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a problem, because ultimately, I find that people are not going to get rid of you if you set boundaries. They're just not going to do that to you.
You're right.
They're going to find somebody else to do that to, because there's always somebody else.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They hired you, so obviously, you know, they want you there. They just, now you're showing them who you are in that space.
I think to a certain extent though. So yeah, these are the folks that hired you, but I believe, say dynamics change where let's involve politics or something like that, where let's give an example. Say you're a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or I slightly gestured in a meeting or something I said that I'm leaning towards so and so, and you're adamantly against this person. So you're gonna start, depending on how much of a priority or that means to you, you could then start, say you're my boss, start trying to get you out of here in a different way, just based off of that, how, you know, right. Even though you did hire me, but hey, depending on how important that is to you, you can start unwinding that person.
So what would be your suggestion to a person in that situation, where, okay, they're finding that they just have different ideologies than other people that they work with, Like personally, I would say keep your ideology at home.
Right. But what I'm saying is, even in that situation, I'm saying that you're not necessarily saying you support this person or that person.
Right.
You just signal something that you disagree with, so this person is now thinking, well,
they've come to their own assumption.
Right. Even though you've done nothing, that really clearly stated, hey, I'm leaning this way, or I clearly stated I am this way. They're just making the assumption, and based off that, just the assumption, they're coming after you now. You know what I mean? Like,
then just leave.
Right.
It's like you're like, why would you stay?
Right.
Well, I mean, that's my opinion.
No. That's how I feel too. Because ultimately, you can't win. And I always tell people, if a job wants to get rid of you, they will find different ways to get rid of you.
Yes.
It could be small things as, you were a minute late back from lunch, or you showed up a minute late, and they document it and say, well, they have a history. And B, I would say pay attention to how people write things about you, narratives about you. You know what I mean? Be very careful with that. I would always, being in Tallahassee and Quincy and the surrounding areas, I think we're so fortunate to have, we have SHRM. You have folks you can go to and talk to across different areas in LinkedIn. Man, have people review your emails, or pay people. Like, people do consulting work that way. And if things don't add up, or you're feeling unfamiliar, or you don't even trust your own HR, have somebody outside to review it. I mean, this is Tallahassee, Quincy. There's people all over.
HR is not for
your
the employee,
friend.
okay? It is not your friend. HR is not for you.
They're there to protect who? The company.
The company.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Most
and
definitely.
The period.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know that, you need to know it. And you should always consult with an attorney if you're in a situation where HR needs to be involved.
Yeah.
Because they are not there for you. Heavy on that.
Yeah.
They are documenting you, okay?
Yes.
You talked about what they're writing about you.
The
that goes to
narratives.
performance and
Yes,
evaluations. You do have to pay attention. You need to read in between those lines
Oh,
of what they're
definitely.
saying. Particularly if you've consistently gotten good reviews, and then suddenly your reviews start to shift, where they're not as strong as they used to be. That is called a slow decline. They're trying to diminish what you're doing.
I would say be aware of your rights. A lot of folks, I think, get messed up in work environments because they don't know they can do certain things. And what it might be also, it didn't happen on the previous job, it didn't happen on that previous job, it didn't happen on that previous job. So they're just so unaware of it and their own power and rights of what to do, and the proper documentation or proper channels. What's the structure that's effective? You know what I mean? Is it documenting in a book? Is it going to somebody and paying a SHRM consultant to look up? Whatever it is, you need to have some type of system, and not just in toxic environments, but overall, just to document performance, anything, man, with jobs and raises and everything else. Document.
So what are some real world impacts on workers that toxic work environment can have that you're familiar with? Real world impacts.
I would say mental health, definitely. Just think about it. I can speak directly from me, like the stress from being in a toxic environment. It then can possibly bleed out into other areas of your life. Like, say something terrible happened at work and it's consistent. You may be short at home. You don't know how that affects other relationships with other people. You yourself, like the stress on you, because you're probably consistently thinking about it. I would say mental health is probably the biggest thing that we all see. And I hate to relate it this way, but look at all these mass shootings and these things that are consistently happening in American society so much that they're normal. Like we don't. I remember as a kid, going through Columbine, and all these big mass shootings, early on, and those were huge things. Like America stopped. We had mass shootings. I feel like every other month or every couple of months that kill and take out so many people.
I think we were already in the double digits before March or April even came.
Right.
When it came to what they consider mass shootings, and I haven't checked the statistics since then, but I'm sure I'll run it and put it up here for those who are interested. It has become quite normal. So much so that it doesn't even lead in the news anymore.
I was just about to say that. That's what I'm saying. Like it's led so much and become so normalized that I don't even know when they happen anymore. Like I could just type it in Google and find all the recent ones. Like they don't even lead with it on the news. Like it used to be America stopped.
Exactly.
Like this is a big thing. Like it's so normalized now. Mm-hmm. And I think that workplace dynamics directly contribute to poor mental health that then contributes to other things. I think as an American society, we don't look at things holistically. Mm-hmm. We look at things as bandages. Mm-hmm. We'll put a bandage on something, but we never really solve the root cause of any issue. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we never really go anywhere. Like we're a rotting house waiting for collapse, basically.
I get you, because we're not taking care of the foundation, and there's a leak, and we're not doing the maintenance for termites and all these different things. Mm-hmm. And what happens? It collapses. Yep. But you have to fix all things, not just patch it.
Right. Yeah. Get to the root cause. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get you. So mental health. I'd like to add reputation, which means that when you're going out there looking for work, it can impact you there, your income. People can develop some weird coping habits, coping mechanisms, drugs, alcohol, spending, all those different things can happen when you are stressed because of the work environment. And you're in a position, a lot of people are in a position, not all, where they do not have control over the fact, or they feel like they don't have control. They feel stuck because they need the job in order to live. They need to, they need
the job. Abraham Maslow's basic, it's a pyramid
of needs.
Of needs.
Yeah.
You need the money to eat. You need the money. So it puts you like in a weird situation too, to where, I think we spoke about this earlier. Like, we're seeing weird stuff at work, but am I the right person to say something with the fear of loss of job? And I'm a single father. I'm a single mother. Can I afford to lose my job, even though I'm seeing and knowing that this is not right? Am I the right person to even say anything?
And that's when the collective, being able to work together. If you're fortunate enough to be in an office with multiple people experiencing the same thing, or unfortunate given the circumstance, if you're able to get a collective together and work as a team,
right,
you're protected more than if you
individual,
as an individual,
one off.
It's a hard place to be.
Yeah.
Um.
I would say always be planning your exit.
From day one.
And I know that may rub folks the wrong way, because my parents are older. My dad is 78. Today's my mom's birthday. She's 68. Hey, Mom, shout out to a real one. But they come from a completely different way of looking at jobs. You know what I mean? Like they believe in working, and that may have worked for them years ago. Like this is a different dynamic completely. And I remember like coming out of college and getting a job. I stayed there, I think longer than most, 2-3 years, sometimes 4 years. Change jobs, 2-3 years. On average, I'm staying there 2-3-4 years and changing. If I wasn't looked down upon in a certain way, not bad, but my parents, well, especially my dad, was like, "Hey, you got to stay and get this retirement. Like, what are you doing? You can't keep changing jobs." Like that was his dynamic. But I would say always be planning. I would say always look at different positions if they're open and search and see what's out there. Not to be some like job hopper or want to be classified as a job hopper, but work is a business. Like I think a lot of folks really take emotion into it. And I think that's where we really get messed up a lot of times too. You think your personal relationship with your boss or HR sometimes out of the office will then help you in toxic situations. No, they'll team up against you. Like we're just saying that HR is there to protect the company. It don't matter what your relationship is. Stop thinking you have friends at work that you can really speak to. Like
Managers are not your friends.
manager, your coworkers are not your friends. Some of you will gel really nice and will be friends out of work, but that's on a really small level. But always be planning your exit, man. Always be looking at different positions. Um, always be thinking, I would say, a year in advance. Like December, what's your goal for the upcoming year? I know you have your work goals, but how can your job really leverage your own personal goals? And then where can you go with that once you got whatever it is? It could be a certification, it could be brand exposure, or you building your own thing. But like always be thinking about uh, your next opportunity. When I was in sales, people would say ABC, always be closing. Always be closing. And I think you have to have that mindset.
Sales guys.
Oh yeah. I was at Rooms to Go and H Gregg in college. Yeah.
Always be closing.
Always
So
be
keep that
closing.
in mind. Always be closing. Okay. So you plan on doing consulting work. So let's talk about that. What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be doing workforce consulting, basically coming into businesses um, and helping them develop talent pipelines is my main thing. So let me really define what that means. So say you're a local business owner, you posted a job or you're looking for a person to do a job. I can't find anybody for this position, right? Like this job has been posted forever, but you really need somebody because now you're going home stressed and everything else, right? You cannot find somebody. We're fortunate enough in Tallahassee and the surrounding areas that have 5, 6 world-class institutes: FAMU, Florida State, Gaston Tech, TSC. So we're graduating. This area is graduating amazing talent. My goal with any business, especially local business owners, not really big corporations, not nothing against them, but I want to make sure our local businesses in the area are eating. And we're graduating thousands of people every couple of months. We just had a graduation this past weekend. How many of those students are staying in Tallahassee? So 25% of all the students that graduate, and the numbers may have jumped a little bit. Check with the Office of Economic Vitality for that. But around that, like it's like 1 in 4 stay in Tallahassee after they graduate, and they're leading or leaving and going to bigger cities. So basically, Tallahassee and the surrounding areas are talent pipelines for bigger cities. So they're leaving, or they're staying and being cultivated here, paying taxes, making it a home, and then we're developing them or giving them a certification or degree or whatever they're developing here, and then they're leaving and going to bigger market, Houston, Atlanta, and
You're taking all that talent with them.
and we can't survive. Like if you look at like Orlando, Tampa area and what they're doing, Raleigh, North Carolina, and the surrounding areas, and what they were able to do, they were able to retain that talent and build and really court billion-dollar companies in healthcare in Raleigh. Like it affects all of us, not just Tallahassee, but it affects all the surrounding counties too. So that's the main thing I want to consult folks on. And another big thing that we don't focus on too, which is huge, since I first got in the workforce, society has moved into a way to where we don't focus on soft skills. And soft skills need to be changed to begin with. I don't believe in even calling it really soft skills. They're essential skills.
Give an example of a soft essential skill.
Making eye contact, reading rooms, social awareness. Like, go to Chick-fil-A. They're always going to greet you. They're going to make eye contact. Same with Publix. Publix is the Chick-fil-A of supermarkets. Like, it's a whole different culture. Like, you feel good when you leave. Like, people, you're reading rooms though. You have social awareness. Hey, I did not say that. Or I should say this. People don't have that, man. People can't make eye contact. Like, go anywhere. If people aren't, you're not engaged with anyone anymore. You know what I mean? And I think by not having social skills and America really moving away from the essential skills, we're losing as a society. When you cannot connect with your peer or coworker or just a random person in the street. And I think this is just me. I think that's where you really see this big divide that's happening in America. Man, you see so much crazy stuff, and I think it's rooted, and I may be wrong, in not being able to relate and connect with anybody, normal people. It doesn't matter if I disagree with you politically or agree with you politically or anything like that, or what church you go to. You're a person. You live in this town. You're probably more related. I know we like to talk racially, but social, economically. Like, you're a middle class person or came from the same, or you might not have had all this, great stuff, and this person also didn't have the same stuff. You have more in common that way than differently. But really, consulting work, advising people in businesses to make sure that they have talent pipelines. Like, they don't have to worry about work or workers at all. Like, we're using all the resources that we have, not just in Tallahassee, but the entire Big Bend to attract. People always talk to me about wanting cheesecake factories and all that. Like, you need to train workforce for all these nice businesses, right? Right. Like, you need all that stuff though. You need a great workforce.
Yeah.
If you don't have the workforce that qualifies for these businesses, they're not coming here.
It's true, because even I introduced someone recently, some young people. I said, you can major in hospitality.
Yeah,
Like,
they
and
have
they
the
were,
Dedman School of Hospitality at Florida State.
and
Yeah,
they were surprised because the just the idea of,
it's like a
like, folding a
stigma.
napkin is not just folding a napkin.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
there are levels to these things.
right. People think hospitality and don't equate that with money. Like, hospitality is a $1 billion industry. You know what I mean? I think we box ourselves out, with stigmas and this, that, and the other. I think we have to just think completely different about things, or come about things from a different perspective.
Just to kind of wrap it all up, where can the people find you if they want to ask a question or get you to do some consulting for them?
You can email me at theljmcmullen@gmail.com. I try to respond pretty quick.
He does.
My phone number is 904 568 7315.
You giving the people your number.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You could text or
Y'all better
call.
text them.
Yeah, you could text or call for that. I'm on LinkedIn at Lacy LJ McMullen Jr. Instagram, Twitter,
He's
whatever.
everywhere.
I'm
If there's
almost everywhere. Yeah.
yeah. Y'all check out Mr. McMullen. Um, Hit him up for some consulting work. He's open to it. And then keep in mind your rights. Remember, you have rights at work. Keep a journal of what's going down.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to your professionals, your legal professionals. HR is not your friend. Teamwork makes the dream work, all those
Yeah.
things. And take care of your mental health. Most businesses have mental health work services, particularly if you work for the state or federal government.
Yeah.
They'll have services that you can use that is a part of your your work package
Yeah.
for mental health.
It's usually like a number or
There
something.
should
Yeah.
be a number. So if you need those types of services, I suggest that you tap into those. But I'll also leave some links for some services for you guys to get into, free to look at. Free to look at. So, thank you for being here. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.